Congratulations to Egan Bernal, the winner of the 104th edition of the Giro d'Italia. Bernal has become only the second rider from Colombia to win the Giro, after Quintana did it in 2014. This also marks the third Giro d'Italia win in 4 years for Team Ineos-Grenadiers, a phenomenal feat for the British team. So, as Bernal comes to terms with this Grand Tour victory, we ask the question, how did Egan Bernal win the Giro? Stage 1 of the 2021 Giro d'Italia proposed a short time trial around the city of Turin. Egan set off with the aim of gaining some seconds on his immediate GC rivals in a discipline that doesn't quite favour him. After a solid race against the clock, Bernal finished 40th, only 39 seconds behind his teammate Filippo Ganna. Whilst Pipo Ganna went into the Maglia Rosa, Bernal matched many of his general classification rivals, including Simon Yates, Romain Bardet, Hugh Carthy, and Mikel Landa. Otherwise in GC, Almeida and Evenepoel led the charge, posting a time within the top 10 of the stage. Egan would have a quiet couple of days on stage 2 and 3 of the Giro, as the team defended the Maglia Rosa of Pipo Ganna. Stage 4, however, would not be a quiet affair. The brutal stormy day to Sestola was the first chance for the GC riders to shine on this Giro. On the final climb of the day, the Colle Passarino, Mikel Landa lit up the race by attacking on the climb. Egan Bernal reacted promptly alongside Alexander Vlasov, Giulio Ciccone, and Hugh Carthy. This group of favourites rode to the line together to put 11 seconds into the bookies' favourites Simon Yates and Remco Evenepoel. The Colombian managed to prove a point on the first GC test of this year's Giro, now sitting 1 minute and 39 seconds behind the breakaway Maglia Rosa wearer of Alessandro De Marchi. The general classification battle would be renewed on stage 6's summit finish to San Giacomo. Earlier on the stage, Egan Bernal's Ineos teammate Pipo Ganna ripped up the race to distance the Maglia Rosa of De Marchi. These efforts continued into the final climb, where Bernal was offensive, attacking at 1.5 kilometers to go to the summit. Ciccone and Evenepoel hung on with Bernal as the other favourites scrambled behind. Bernal would go on to finish second place on the stage, claiming 6 extra bonus seconds in the process. Behind, Simon Yates would finish 19 seconds in arrears to Egan Bernal. Egan then moved into third in GC, whilst the surprise package of Attila Valter took the Maglia Rosa. Nevertheless, Bernal had a job to do when stage 9 arrived. The stage was a tough mountain challenge to Campo Felice in Abruzzo. After so many meters of climbing on the stage, the finale would take place on gravel, testing the riders' off-road ability. Ineos kept their Colombian leader safe for the most part of the day, but when it came to the final climb, Moscon launched Egan Bernal, triggering one of the most ferocious attacks of this year's Giro d'Italia. Bernal then caught up to the breakaway of Koen Bouwman and Geoffrey Bouchard, and soloed away to his first ever Grand Tour stage win. Egan was superior at Campo Felice, sending shockwaves into the GC as Evenepoel, Yates and the rest came through over 10 seconds in arrears. Bernal then led the GC and would become the Maglia Rosa with a 15-second lead over Remco Evenepoel. With Bernal in the Maglia Rosa at Campo Felice, Egan would remain in pink until Milan. The hardest days of the Giro were still to come. The race for the Maglia Rosa would continue on stage 11, the stage between Perugia and Montalcino. This stage offered over 30 kilometers of gravel roads, a terrain that Bernal proved himself on already at this Giro and at this year's Strade Bianche. Bernal was optimistic before the stage, and his team managed the day brilliantly. Once the first sector of gravel came, Filippo Ganna put on the pace, creating some decisive splits in the group. After testing Simon Yates and Remco Evenepoel on the first sector, it looked like Egan Bernal was firmly in the driving seat to take more time out of his rivals. Bernal protected his pink jersey through the coming sectors, even testing the group of favourites on the final sector. With Education first setting the pace on the final climb of the day, Bernal held on, ready to pounce. Emil Buchmann made the first move, with Vlasov reacting soon after. Bernal bridged up to Vlasov and attacked the general classification group, eventually bridging up to Buchmann up in front. The duo had a substantial lead of 30 seconds to Vlasov over the final climb, and Bernal continued to ride, eventually dropping Buchmann in the final straight to the line. Bernal finished 20 seconds over Vlasov, who now assumed second place in GC, whilst Bernal also took 25 seconds on Caruso and Yates. Egan's strength on the white roads placed him 45 seconds ahead of Vlasov in GC, and 1 minute and 12 ahead of Damiano Caruso. Meanwhile, Evenepoel lost a fatal amount of time on stage 11, triggering the end of his Giro GC campaign. Stages 12 and 13 didn't pose any difficulty, but the Zoncolan awaited for Bernal on stage 14 of the 2021 Giro d'Italia. The mighty Monte Zoncolan steep gradients indicated a large GC reshuffle, and it certainly did that. On the Zoncolan, Bernal's teammates rode valiantly to keep the pace high. Simon Yates was the first to attack on the Zoncolan. The double act of Simon Yates and Egan Bernal rode away from the main group on the steeper slopes of the climb. Bernal, however, had something left in the tank, and Egan danced away from Yates in the final 300 meters to stamp his authority on this Giro. Bernal caught the breakaway and came across the line in 4th place. After Bernal, Yates came home 11 seconds in deficit, whilst Caruso and Ciccone came across 39 seconds behind Bernal. Bernal's impressive performance on the Monte Zoncolan sealed a strong GC lead, over 1 minute ahead of his nearest rival Simon Yates. Stage 16 was struck by a major alteration due to adverse weather conditions. This ruled out two of the hardest climbs of this year's Giro, the Passo Fedaya and the Passo Pordoi. The Passo Giao, however, remained in the route. The stage was then set, a 153km long battle to the ski resort of Cortina d'Ampezzo. On the climb, EF controlled much of the stage in order to challenge Remco Evenepoel, Vlasov and Ciccone. The effort of EF Simon Carr wore down the group on the Passo Giao, shedding Yates and Vlasov by the 25km to go marker. At 22.1k to go, Bernal made his move and attacked the group of favourites on the Passo Giao. Romain Bardet and Damiano Caruso followed to begin with, but Bernal motored away to ride solo over the top of the climb. Bernal took the Cima Coppi over the top of the climb and descended away to a historic stage win in Cortina d'Ampezzo. Bernal vanquished the stage with an advantage of 27 seconds over Damiano Caruso and Romain Bardet. The shockwaves of Bernal's attack were monstrous, as he now led the race by 2 minutes and 24 seconds over Damiano Caruso, Bahrain victorious. However, stage 16 will most likely go down as Bernal's finest moment on the 2021 Giro d'Italia. Egan Bernal looks set to seal his first ever Giro d'Italia victory when we set off for the final week of racing. The final week had many mountaintop finishes and challenges on the cards, beginning with Stage 17 to Zega di Ala. Stage 17 was controlled by Bike Exchange for the most part, setting a relentless pace for most of the day. Luckily for Ineos-Grenadiers, they missed out on a nasty crash at the back of the pink jersey group on the descent of the Passo San Valentino. Giulio Ciccone and Remco Evenepoel saw fatal blows to their Giro d'Italia journeys in this crash, as these riders both pulled out in the coming days. On the final ascent, Castroviejo and Martinez controlled affairs. Chihuahua made a challenge the Ineos status quo at 6km to go, but the Ineos squad looked unbothered by the attacks. Whilst Martinez held the gap, Bernal appeared to be struggling, whilst Yates and Almeida rode away. Bernal's crack looked terrible at 3km to go. He needed Martinez to come back by his side to motivate him towards another day in pink. Bernal, Martinez and Caruso joined forces to limit their losses to Almeida and Yates up the road. Bernal ultimately only lost 1 minute to Yates on the Zega di Ala, guaranteeing Bernal another day in the pink jersey. However, despite this effort, his lead was looking the most fragile it had been over this course of the Giro, and many question marks were raised over Egan Bernal. Whilst Bernal remained confident that his back had not been troubling him, there was a lot of discussion over his form on the 19th stage from Abbiate Grasso to Alba di Mera. On the stage, Bernal's Ineos squad were relieved of most pacemaking duties, as the Koenig Quickstep and Bike Exchange controlled affairs. On the final climb, Castroviejo and Martinez took responsibility once again. The first attacks came from Almeida and Yates, with Caruso and Carthy initially countering. With 6km to go, Yates made a stinging attack from the front group to gain a 30-second advantage over Egan Bernal. Behind, Bernal pushed on, bringing Almeida to the final kilometer. Whilst Joao Almeida attacked away from Bernal under the Flamme Rouge, Bernal held on for 3rd place, gaining 4 seconds on Caruso, whilst the Colombian still lost 28 seconds to Simon Yates. On stage 20, Bernal would confirm his status as the race leader. Although Bardet and Caruso attacked away in the first climb of the day, Bernal and his Ineos-Grenadiers teammates limited the time gap before Martinez and Bernal churned up the final climb of the day. At 1.5km to go, Yates was shed from Bernal's group. Then, Egan struck out at 1km to go and clinched an extra handful of seconds over his competitors. Whilst Bernal's nearest rival in GC, Damiano Caruso, remained up in front to take the stage win, Bernal remained in pink with a lead of 1 minute and 59 seconds going into the final time trial in Milan. So stage 21's 30km time trial into Milan acted as a procession for Egan Bernal. There were few doubters of Egan Bernal's position at the top of the podium at the end of the time trial, but Bernal still gave it his best performance. In the end, Egan Bernal only lost 30 seconds to his nearest rival, Damiano Caruso, in the GC, solidifying Egan Bernal's position as the 2021 Giro d'Italia champion. Nevertheless, behind Bernal in GC, Caruso came home in second at 1 minute and 29 seconds, Simon Yates came in third at 4 minutes and 15, Alexander Vlasov finished in fourth place at 6 minutes and 40 seconds, and Daniel Martinez, Egan Bernal's most loyal teammate, came across the line 7 minutes and 24 seconds down in Egan Bernal overall. Anyways, that's everything from this video explaining how Egan Bernal won the Giro d'Italia 2021. Comment down below what your Giro memories are from this year and what you expect Egan Bernal to do in the coming years. Well, that's everything from us. Thank you for watching, subscribe to the Cycling Dane channel for more, and we will see you around.